Make sure your phone's on. Hello all, and welcome to tonight's Torah portion. Before I get started, I'm going to say a blessing. Blessed art thou, Adonai, who King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us and girded us with the words of Torah. Please, Adonai, who you speak the words of your Torah in our mouths and in the mouths of all your people Israel, may we and our offspring, the offspring of your people, the house of Israel, may we all together know your name and study your Torah for the sake of fulfilling your desire. Blessed are you, Adonai, who teaches Torah to his people Israel. Blessed are you, Adonai, who King of the universe, who chose us from all the nations and gave us the Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, give the Torah. May Adonai bless you and keep watch over you. May Adonai make his presence your night and you may be kind to you. May Adonai bestow favor on you and grant you peace. See, today's read is, actually there's 3. It's going to be Mark 9, 1 through 13, Acts 5, 1 through 11, and 10, 1 through 35. And he said to them, Truly I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the kingdom of Elohim after it has come with power. And after 6 days Yeshua took with him Peter and James and John and led them up a high mountain by themselves, and he was transfigured before them, and his clothes became radiant, intensely white, as no one on earth could bleach them. And there appeared to them Elijah and Moses, and they were talking with Yeshua, and Peter said to Yeshua, Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah. For he did not know what to say, and they were terrified. And a cloud overshadowed them, and a voice came out of the cloud, This is my beloved Son, listen to him. And suddenly, looking around, they no longer saw anyone with them, but Yeshua only. And as they were coming down the mountain, he charged them to tell no one what they had seen, until the Son of Man has risen from the dead. So they kept the matter to themselves, questioning what this rising from the dead might mean. And they asked him, Why did the scribes say that first Elijah must come? And he said to them, Elijah does come first to restore all things. And how it is written of the Son of Man, that he should suffer many things, and be treated with contempt. But I tell you that Elijah has come, and they did to him whatever they pleased, as it is written of him. Acts 5, 1 through 11. But a man named Ananias and his wife Sapphira sold a piece of property, and with his wife's knowledge he kept back for himself some of the proceeds, and brought only a part of it, and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit, and to keep back for yourself part of the proceeds of the land? While it remained unsold, did it not remain your own? And after it was sold, was it not at your disposal? Why is it that you have contrived this deed in your heart? You have not lied to man, but to Elohim. And when Ananias heard these words, he fell down and breathed his last. A great fear came upon all who heard of it. The young man rose and wrapped him up and carried him out and buried him. After an interval of about 3 hours, his wife came in, not knowing what had happened, and Peter said to her, Tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, Yes, for so much. And Peter said to her, How is it that you have agreed together to test the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of those who have buried your husband are at the door, and they will carry you out. Immediately she fell down at his feet and breathed her last. And when the young man came in and found her dead, and they carried her out and buried her beside her husband. And great fear came upon the whole church and upon all who heard these things. Acts 10, 1 through 35. At Caesarea there was a man named Cornelius, a centurion of what was known as the Italian cohort, a devout man who feared Elohim. With all his household gave alms generously to the people, and prayed continually to Elohim. About the 9th hour of the day he saw clearly in a vision an angel of Elohim come in and say to him, Cornelius. And he stared at him in terror and said, What is it, Lord? And he said to him, Your prayers and your alms have ascended as a memorial before Elohim, and now send men to Joppa, and bring one Simon who is called Peter. He is lodging with one Simon, a tanner, whose house is by the sea. And when the angel who spoke to him had departed, he called 2 of his servants and a devout soldier from among those who attended him. And having related everything to them, he sent them to Joppa. The next day, as they were on the journey and approached the city, Peter went up on the housetop about the 6th hour to pray. And he became hungry and wanted something to eat. But while they were preparing it, he fell into a trance and saw the heavens open up and something like a great sheet descending, being let down by its 4 corners upon the earth. In it were all kinds of animals, reptiles, birds of the air. And there came another voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, By no means, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. The voice came to him again a second time, What Elohim has made clean, do not call common. This happened 3 times, and the thing was taken up at once to heaven. Now while Peter was inwardly perplexed as to what the vision that he had seen might mean, behold, the men who were sent by Cornelius, having made inquiry for Simon's house, stood at the gate, and called out to ask whether Simon, who was called Peter, was lodging there. And while Peter was pondering the vision, the Spirit said to him, Behold, 3 men are looking for you. Rise and go down and accompany them without hesitation, for I have sent them. And Peter went down to the men and said, I am the one you are looking for. What is the reason for your coming? And they said, Cornelius, a centurion, an upright and Elohim-fearing man who is well spoken of by the whole Jewish nation, was directed by a holy angel to send for you to come to his house and to hear what you have to say. So he invited them in to be his guests. The next day he rose and went away with them, and some of the brothers from Joppa accompanied them. And on the following day he entered Caesarea. Cornelius was expecting him, and had called together his relatives and close friends. When Peter entered, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshipped him. But Peter lifted him up, saying, Stand up, I too am a man. As he talked to him, he went in and found many persons gathered, and he said to them, You yourselves know how unlawful it is for a Jew to associate with or to visit anyone of another nation. But Elohim has shown me that I should not call any person common or unclean. So when I was sent for, I came without objection. I asked then why you sent for me. And Cornelius said, 4 days ago, about this hour, I was praying in my house at the 9th hour, and behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing, and said, Cornelius, your prayer has been heard, and your alms have been remembered before Elohim. Send therefore to Joppa, and ask for Simon, who is called Peter. He is lodging in the house of Simon, a tanner by the sea. So I sent for you at once, and you have been kind enough to come. Now therefore, we are all here in the presence of Elohim to hear all that you have been commanded by the Lord. So Peter opened his mouth and said, Truly I understand that Elohim shows no partiality, but in every nation anyone who fears him and does what is right is accepted to him. Blessed art thou, Adonai, King of the universe, who gave us the Torah of truth instead of everlasting life in our midst. Blessed art thou, Adonai, give the Torah Brukata Adonai, Elohim Lach Halom, Asher Natal Lunu Tredi Mabai Shalom, Natabeti Kenu Brukata Adonai Netin HaTorah. Well, I hope you all have a great night and a fantastic tomorrow.